Radhe Radhe. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. May this be an offering to Sri Radha Krishna. And as we wait our first guests to arrive, allow me to set the intention for this space as being a welcoming, all-inclusive environment, open to everyone, regardless of background, identity, orientation, belief system, you name it. This space is us. The space is us. Well, it's true. But this space is for us to come together as fellow spiritual seekers to relate in each other's experiences, uplift each other, and share positive sentiments. Hello, my dear guests. You are all very early. Indeed, Colin. Hello, Aquarius lady. Greetings, Isabella. Hello, Collie. Welcome. It sounds like there's a bird like above me. Directly above me. It doesn't make sense. But I love the sound of the birds. Nature expressing herself in all her various forms. She's so beautiful. Hello, Natalia. And thank you, Valentina, for blessing us so early on with a pair of finger hearts. Hariom Tat Sat. And Risi, thank you for blessing us as well with 15 finger hearts. Jai Sitaram. Hello, Cryptic Canuck. Radhe Radhe Magdalene. We got a green banana today. Banana. Well, I wanted a banana. We got a green bandana. It looks yellow though. I swear every time I wear a bandana, it looks like a different color to you all. But I think that's beautiful how our different perspectives are so colorful. Isn't it? And Cryptic Canuck, thank you for your heart, me too. Hare Krishna. Isabella, thank you for your finger heart. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Valentina, thank you for your tiny. Yippee! And Maya, thank you for your pair of finger hearts too. I am doing well. Thank you for asking, Natalia. How are you? And thank you, Maya, for your trio of fires. Hariom Tat Sat. Thank you, Valentina, for your pair of tinies as well. Yahoo! Hello, Painted Lady Woodland Fairy. Aiko Create. You ask, are we going into a different timeline, a conscious shift? Well, Einstein said that we are all each in our own timelines due to his theory of relativity. But those that are at rest with you, they run parallel to you. This means those whom are also still in your reference frame. They are not moving against you or away from you. They will evolve in the same direction as you are. And thank you, Dub Darker, for your heartbeat. Hariom Tat Sat. And B525, thank you for your rose. Jai Sitaram. Valentina, thank you for your trio of roses. My apologies, trio of finger hearts. I even knew that because my hand went up. Have you seen those experiments where people's right brain, they acknowledge the name of something that they see, but their left brain struggles to come up with the word for it? It's very interesting. Thank you, Painted Lady, for your heartbeat. Your trio of team bracelets and a trio of cherry wubs. And I'm feeling quite happy and healthy. Thank you for asking, Painted Lady. And I'm so happy to see you too, Maya. So since you all are so early, I get to pick your brain. I love doing this, the start of my lives. Today I'm wondering from you, how do we give Mother Earth her money back? How do we give Mother Earth her money back? We've taken so many loans from her, including this body. It's but a loan from Mother Earth. We have to return it. So how do we make sure that her investment gets a positive ROI, return on investment? How do we ensure that we give back to Mother Earth more than we have taken from her? Sacrifice, shares Big Crofts. Sacrifice is very important in life. Aquarius Lady, you share cleaning her up, water and land. Yes, I agree. Start loving ourselves. I concur with that also, Maya. Because we are expressions of Mother Earth. For us to have love for ourselves is going to be the first step in having love for the place in which we've come. And Cryptic Canuck, you share, stop mowing our lawn so the bees can thrive. That's a real simple and practical thing we can do, since lawns are no ecosystem on their own. Only a couple bugs live there, but just by having a little bit of grasslands around your house, you could make a whole ecosystem thrive again. Save the bees, shares Nish. And thank you for asking. Nebezinaur, I am feeling well. Painted Lady, Woodland Fairy, you can share. You share that we can start respecting her, appreciating her, and going back to old ways to take care of her. I love that you acknowledge that we don't need to invent anything new necessarily. Indigenous have known for millennia how to connect with her, take care of her. Ellen, you share by taking care of the world. Indeed. And thank you, Timothy, for your heart me. Hello, Cosmic Woman. Hello, Bren. Cryptic Canuck, you can share that the city can stop watering grass with sprinklers around buildings and stores every night. This water can definitely go towards other things, certainly. Water is a scarce resource. Hello, Rob. Bob, you share hugging lots of trees. I like that. Oh, just the simple act of extending our love, even physically, to Mother Nature can inspire change within us. Nebezinaur, you share that we can catch and release bugs instead of killing them when they get inside your house. I like that. You know, it becomes a fun little game with a cup and a piece of paper, you know. It's very satisfying. Very satisfying indeed. And Painted Lady, you're wondering, is this a one-off early live for you all European viewers? Well, I guess so, because I wanted to do something with my father later. So to ensure I have enough time to do something with him and my sister, I went early so I had enough time with you all as well. Hello, Nikki. Jai Sitaram Ranjit, hello. Walk and bike more. I love how many ideas you have, Cryptic Canuck. Buster Roberts, you share that in spring you always hold a leaf and say, welcome back. That's really beautiful. I appreciate that. That's so cool. Koli, you share by sharing our love with everyone and everything. Simple, but effective. And Painted Lady Woodland Fairy, you share that you actually really missed the monthly lives last week, but you are so glad that I am well and putting first. Yes, I very much appreciate your understanding. I very much want to do earlier lives in general. Alas, a lot of my energy is put into my my sleep hygiene at the moment. Now, heart emoji. You ask, how do we give her her money back? Wow, you'd love to know. Well, stick around and listen to many people's lovely ideas. Ranjit, you share simply by showing gratitude for her, and I love that. Now, Cryptic, you're wondering, am I going to see fireworks? I did last night, actually. Hello, Dr. Jenny. And much love to you too, Cosmic Woman, and thank you for sharing your love. Cryptic, you share that there's so many things we can do to give Mother Earth back her money. Take care of her. I love that. Dr. Jenny, you share, love her tiny moments. I love that. Mother Earth, Mother Nature is very, very big. But she is made up of so many, many, many tiny moments, isn't she? And that's what makes her big. Aw. You're so sweet, heart emoji. Your dad. You share, you feel so much peace just opening my life. Well, there's so much peace in just opening our life. Becoming susceptible to everything. Allowing ourselves to be vulnerable to life. That is how the Mother of the Universe connects with our heart. She envelops us in her womb. Anna, you share that this question deserves pages, but character limit. Indubitably. I agree. Well, on the recording of this, when I upload it to YouTube, you have something like 5,000 characters, which is quite the improvement, in case you want to write an essay for me. But I'm so grateful that we had a moment to talk about this, because Mother Nature is a very big part of our life. In fact, in some sense, it is the entirety of our life, and thus it's important that we give back to her, since she has given us so much freely. Hello, Lone Wolf. Hello, Kimmy. And thank you, Lone Wolf, for your wonderful community fest. Hari Om Tat Sat. Howdy, Cliche. And you're beautiful, Isabella. You share, you are a metaphor. I like that a lot. Cosmic Woman, you share, she is a living being. She is alive. And she is alive through us. So after I start off my lives with the question of the day, I like to do a short reading. So I hope you'll join me just for a few minutes before opening up this Sangha and the questions and answers in reading from another section of our book, In Love, at Ease. This is a book that was given to me by one of our guests, and I've learned so much about this great spiritual figure known as Pramukh Swami, who is seemingly all the time in love, at ease. Let us learn from Swamishri in the 4th chapter, titled Embracing All. Swamishri pushed back against dated customs and beliefs that women could only perform certain tasks or sevas within the organization. He would reprimand elderly bhaktas, devotees who reinforced the chauvinistic idea that women must cook or serve in the kitchen. He reminded me on several occasions that I should cook at home and give my mother time off. He would say, "Your ba, your mother, has a career and works hard. She does it to provide for you and the family. You should take on meal prep and cooking so that she can rest. I remember that she has health issues as well. Serve her as you would serve me. She deserves it." Despite maintaining distance, Swamishri was always keen to help within his maryada. His celibacy was not an excuse to avoid assisting whenever possible. Swamishri's car was soaring on the highway from Chennai to Bangalore, where he was to speak to a gathering of bhaktas, of devotees. Swamishri was focused on the pile of letters he had been given by his personal attendant in the back seat. While he was reading a letter, he felt the driver slam on the brakes. There was a car in the road that had suddenly pulled to the side. Swamishri asked the bhakta driving the car what was wrong with the other car. The driver stopped the car in front of the broken down vehicle and went to check on the two ladies standing distressed and panicked on the side of the road. He came back and shrugged his shoulders. "It is just a flat tire. They will figure it out." Swamishri protested. "No, it is getting dark soon. It is not safe for them to be stuck on the side of the road. I will wait here. Go help them out." The bhakta went and returned in a few minutes. "Swamishri, I can't do it. I need more hands. They will stop another car. Besides, we have to get to your sabha, your assembly." Swamishri was not convinced. "Well, you are not alone. Take the sadhus, the other monks." He instructed the sadhus to maintain their vows, but to help change the tire for the women. Almost 45 minutes later, Swamishri and the sadhus were on their way again. Swamishri would often say, "This is why we have become sadhus. To help people, whether in a mandir, a temple, or elsewhere, serving the divine through serving society, irrespective of social class, financial status, or gender, is the primary duty of a sadhu, of a monk." Swamishri took on the responsibility of guiding and raising countless young men and women. Tens of thousands of women wrote to Swamishri with their problems, seeking spiritual and personal guidance. Their letters were answered promptly and with pragmatic advice. Despite having to communicate with the women through the written word and intermediaries, Swamishri was able to relate to them in a way that was not condescending or distant, but rather spiritually intimate and inviting. As one young woman from Texas finishing dental school once said to me, "Everyone around me wanted something from me. Here was a guru, a father, a friend, whom I could write to without ever fearing judgment, disappointment, or selfish motives. He did not care about how I looked, what I earned, who my family was, or what my social status was. He just kept giving. I wrote 46 letters to His Holiness since I was 9 years old. He had someone respond to each one, and often even had a relative follow up to make sure that I was making progress on my spiritual and professional path. If that is called distance, then I cannot imagine what you would define as closeness." Another Bhai Bhakta, another female devotee from Canada, shudders when she recalls the discrimination and judgment that she faced her whole life. Her mother and father were from different social classes, varnas, which means castes, and religions. She heard whispers her whole life about her background, especially when it was time for marriage. She had one safe place, and that was in her communication with her guru. Finding a suitable partner has been a challenge that I have continued to face for almost 2 decades now, she said. My first challenge began after my engagement with a wonderful man broke off. Despite speaking to many potential partners who showed interest, all of them struggled with the fact that my mom came from a different caste or religion. The only time I felt safe, secure, and free to be myself was when I wrote to Swamishri. He responded to the letters with love and encouragement. I never felt discriminated against or dismissed in his presence. He answered dozens of letters with patience and generosity. I eventually got married, but that ended in a painful divorce. I then faced more discrimination because of my divorce and for being a South Asian woman living in North America. The only love that remained constant was the love of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. I feel it even today. And let us pause our reading of In Love at Ease there for now. So I thank you for listening. Now we may return to our regular format and have an open discussion on whatever speaks to your hearts or minds. Darcy, you share that you're pretty sure you saw me yesterday, just after the fireworks. Well, there's a good chance that you did if you live in Canada, on Vancouver Island. Thank you, Alex, for your beautiful flowers you sent just as we started reading. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Usha, thank you for your heart me and your 11 roses. Hare Krishna. And Isabella, thank you for your pair of finger hearts. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Painted Lady, thank you for your star and disco love, as well as your paper crane, and a quartet of roses, and another pair, just now. Om Namah Shivaya. And Usha, thank you for your balloons as well. Hari Om Tat Sat. Cliche, you ask, can we talk about reincarnation and palmistry? Apparently it shows how many lives you've lived. Well, that's no difficult task to measure. See, I can tell you all immediately how many lives you've lived, just in a single glance. You know why? It's not because I'm powerful or talented. It's because the number of lives we've all lived is the same. And that number is infinite. It's a very simple equation. So you take how long the soul exists. What's the lifespan of the soul? Eternity. Take eternity, divide it by the average lifespan, let's say it's 50 years. All right, infinity divided by 50 years, how many lifetimes is that? Well, infinity divided by any finite number is still infinity. So we've all had infinite lifetimes. It's a very simple calculation. And it makes intuitive sense too. Why? Because if you had only a finite number of lifetimes, then that means your soul wouldn't be eternal. But because that which you are is never born and never dies, this means that the ways in which you have expressed yourself is equal to the ways in which you have to express yourself, which is infinite in both directions. But palmistry specifically, I am unfamiliar with. I am sure there are many great wise people who can really connect with you by holding your hand and looking at the lines. That's not something that I've ever experienced myself, so I don't know how to speak on it. But thank you, loving vegans, for your cloud bread. Hari Om Tat Sat. Now, Sarah, you asked a great question earlier. Do I think if plants practiced religion, the sun would be their god? The sun is the source of life for not just plants but animals. I mean, hey, us animals, we humans, we've worshipped the sun as God for millennia. From the ancient Egyptians all the way to modern times. There is a great symbolism in the sun as being a source of life and light. And thank you, Claire, for your heart me, your pair of team bracelets, your ice cream cone, your rose and community fest. Hari Om Tat Sat. Beanie Rebecca, you share the background makes you think that the location I'm at is really beautiful. Well, it is. In fact, I can show you my mother's garden. She has planted many flowers around me. And I can even show you my mother. She's about to pass between there. I think. Wait for it. Wait for it. She's too shy. Oh, there she is. Now, Dr. Ginny, you would like me to tell you more about the concept of zero knowledge as it applies to nuclear disarmament and peace. Sounds like you watched my interview. So this was an interesting topic I had discussing with someone who interviewed me recently. In cryptography, there's this protocol called a zero knowledge proof. A zero knowledge proof is a way to prove something without revealing any knowledge, besides the fact that you know something. So it's a way of conveying an idea without any ideas. So, for example, this is useful in internet security. Let's say you want to prove that you are the owner of a certain software account, certain website account, but you don't want to reveal your password. So there's a zero knowledge proof in which you can prove that you know the password, but without giving the password. I think one of my favorite famous examples of a zero knowledge proof is Where's Waldo? Or Where's Wally in the UK? You know, these books where you can open up and there are so many different people and you're trying to find Waldo or Wally, whatever you call him. Well, there's a way of proving that you found him without revealing where he is. That would be an example of a zero knowledge proof. It's very simple. What you do is you take a big piece of cardboard, at least twice as big as the book, and then you cut out a hole that's in the perfect shape of Waldo, and you put the cardboard down on the book, just over where Waldo is, so you can only see Waldo. And then, when someone walks in the room, all they see is a piece of cardboard, and they see Waldo. Thus, you've proven to them that you have found Waldo, but you haven't shown where Waldo is. Thus, when they leave the room, you take the cardboard off, they come back into the room, because they didn't know the orientation of the book underneath the cardboard, then they're unable to find Waldo, they have to do it themselves. So this is a zero knowledge proof. But I think we'll see an increase of this kind of protocol, hopefully, in the next 100 years, because right now there's a lot of pomp and egoity among nations of the world, harboring secret intelligence, and thus there's so much resentment towards other nations that we've built up arsenals ready to fight them. I think zero knowledge proofs are our way of proving that we'll dismantle all of our weapons against you without revealing what weapons we had. Because that's a big problem. big problem is we want to ensure that, say, all the nuclear warheads from the Cold War are dismantled so that we don't have a use for them anymore. We want to prove that. But we also don't want to give any military intelligence away, like how they were built, because without a zero-knowledge proof, how would you prove that something is disabled without revealing how it works? That is why zero-knowledge proofs are important in security, where you want to retain sensitive information but show someone that you genuinely have done something. I think this will help the security of the world moving forward. It's a very unique concept indeed. Thank you, Nish, for your heart meet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Dr. Jenny, you're wondering, how can we help make this work? Well, on an individual human level, I think zero-knowledge proofs are probably too complicated and we leave it for the professionals to do. But maybe we can get the discussion moving forward. We can raise awareness for this concept. Maybe you can call your local representative. I don't know. This is obviously in its very early stages, and very few zero-knowledge proof protocols have been made. I mean, it's only within the last few years that we even discovered that zero-knowledge proofs are possible. For most of the history of cryptography, no one believed that zero-knowledge proofs actually existed. But within the last few years, several years, there have been great works and people have actually proven that they do exist. But the examples that they've shown, they're very hard to wield. They're very difficult to actually implement. So right now we just have a proof of concept, but we have also proven that now that it is possible, there's a zero-knowledge proof for anything, theoretically, but we don't know how to make it yet. So lots of research is underway. Maybe you can be one of those people that show how to make it practical. You'd be one of those people that develop the first real-world application for zero-knowledge proofs. If you go into cryptography, cryptography is going to be a really, really, really big part of the world in the next 100 years, as it has been in the last several decades. I'm glad you recognize that, Nambezin. There is such a wonderful irony about zero-knowledge proofs being zero-knowledge proofs in and of themselves. In fact, if you were a really big smartass, you could probably prove that zero-knowledge proofs are possible without delivering any knowledge of how it's possible. And thank you, Dr. Jenny, for your tiny. Yippee! And your trio of roses. Radhe or Radhe. And Lilemor, thank you for your friendship necklace. And your 10 roses. But zero-knowledge proofs, they have a spiritual analogy too. I mean, just consider the fact that the hallmark of a zero-knowledge proof means that no one can reproduce what you know, even if they reproduce how you are able to show that you know. Like, for example, a guru, a spiritual teacher, is able to prove to you in no direct way that they are peaceful, without necessarily giving you any peace yourself. You can just tell That guy is really peaceful, and I don't know how he does it. There's a bit of a zero knowledge proof there. And thank you, Isabella, for your fire. Hari Om Tat Sat. But in a way, they are giving you some knowledge, because they are you, you are them. Thus they are proving to you that it is possible, and that might be something that you didn't know already. Nikki, you had asked how to get more money in life. Consider this universe to be a resource distribution network. That's all we are as humans, is vehicles. We take stuff and we put it somewhere else, because we don't get to keep anything that we're transporting through life. All of our feelings, they come, they go. All of our memories, they come, and one day they will go too. All of our thoughts, all of our talents, all of our material possessions, all of our certifications. No matter what we hold on to in life, at some point we have to let go of. Therefore, it is not about getting more of anything. It is about being a better transporter for the resources that are made available to us. Thus, if you want to be able to transport more, then we prove to the universe that we are good at delivering things where they need to go. What this means is that the more you give, the more you get. The universe says, hey, this person, Nikki, she's such a giver. Everything she gets, she gives to someone else. Let's give her even more stuff to give, because she has proven herself to be a good resource distributor. And that's what this universe wants for us. Wants us to be good resource distributors. Not resource hoarders. Now, Beanie Rebecca, you were wondering, what does the thing I said mean? Well, I say various Sanskrit mantras after I thank someone for any kind of token of appreciation. They are very ancient, and they're a kind of calling to the divinity within. It's an acknowledgement that there is nothing but an expression of the divine in her or his form, like Radhe Radhe. It is a certain series of sounds that invokes the divine feminine in her all-attractive form, the bliss-giving mother of the universe, very old, very ancient. Hello, hey tonight. You share that you're going to sleep, but you need to say something. Knock knock. Sounds like a knock knock joke. Goodbye, hey tonight. May you have wonderful dreams whenever you get there. Dennis, you share that your tummy always hurts when you eat jalapenos. Well, maybe you shouldn't eat jalapenos then. Ultimately, for spiritual life, we require a very precise diet. The relationship between the mind and the body is very precise. You'll notice that you'll get lots of desires, lots of envy. You get these emotions when you eat food that is rajasic in nature. This is food that is too spicy, or food that keeps you up at night. Rajasic food includes onion and garlic and very hot spices. It includes caffeine and other things and energy drinks. Rajasic food is food that is good for a passionate life, but not for a calm life. Similarly, there's two other kinds of food, tamasic food and sattvic food. Tamasic food is the kind of food that gives rise to ignorance, to hatred, to resentment and quarrel, to sleepiness, to fatigue. This includes very heavy foods, food that you want to go into a sleep coma after you eat it. It's the kind of food you don't want to eat before doing something physical. But for spiritual life, sattvic food is going to be what is required for a clear mind. This means food that's not too spicy, not too bland, very light on the body, gets digested very easily. This includes fruit, lots of sweet food. This includes rice. This includes some fresh vegetables. It includes a little bit of candy, actually. Sugar is actually a very good thing on the spiritual path. It includes some nuts and seeds and milk from a cow that has been respected her whole life, and other dairy products that are very pure. If you eat like this, I guarantee your mind will be so much more stable, so much more clear. Your body will reduce in weight, but your mind will also reduce in weight. It'll become very light. Isabella, you're hungry now. Now, Avidas, you ask a great philosophical question. Can we really know anything for sure beyond the fact that you're aware and have qualia? You don't need to, because that is where life takes place. All of life exists through our own awareness, and it has qualities. This is all which we need to know. Objective science measures something which does not exist. It measures a world that can fit into categories and be put under rigid labels. It does not take into account our subjective reality, which exists entirely within awareness and the various continuous and dynamic expressions that takes place within that awareness. Thank you, Annie MJ, for your heart me and a team bracelet. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Nikki, you wish that my live streams were earlier on other days too. Well, this is something that I will work towards you. Wait, I will work towards for you. Same. Right now, the only thing stopping me from going live earlier is waking up earlier. But I will try to do that for you all. And thank you, Woo Woo, for your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. Lilimor, thank you for your friendship necklace. And Steffi, thank you for your heart me. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. And thank you, Annie, for your 6th community fasts also. Good morning, Annie. Ray, you're wondering, what is reality for me? reality is an opportunity to express that immortal consciousness which is all there is. Reality is the playground of that Atman, that first being, which we all are expressions of. Reality is a lila, a divine play, so that we may continue to understand what it means for life to exist, so that we may go out and help others as an expression of the infinite love that we have stored within. And thank you, Isabella, for your cheer you up, your heart me, and a team bracelet. Hare Krishna. Hello, Anti-Light. You are wondering, what happened to the set theory that I was working on? Ah, you have a good memory. Many moons ago, I used to work on my own set theory, and I went very, very far with it, called binary set theory. It's an alternative theory of mathematics, in which we use different axioms for set theory. In modern times, we use axioms called ZFC, Zermelo-Fraenkel plus choice, which go from the axiom of extensionality down all the way to the axiom of choice. And they make various claims about what can or cannot exist in the mathematical universe. But I was curious if we could go about this using different axioms, where instead of assuming the infinite and deducing its components, we go about it the other way around, where we start with nothing and then we build the infinite from that nothing. But mathematics has not been something that I've been playing around with for almost a few years now. I feel like I have found what I have needed to find in mathematics, and now I'm expressing that on the physical plane. Thank you, Drond, for your rose. Radhe or Radhe. You're very welcome, Ray. And Sammy, thank you for your baker's dozen worth of ginger men. That's so fun. Jai Hanumanji. And Annie MJ, thank you for your ginger man too. A.V. Das, you share that Gödel's theorem challenges the math's capability to express consciousness. Indeed. In fact, consciousness challenges math's capability to express it. Consciousness cannot be expressed because it is that in which all expressions are made possible. Gödel's first incompleteness theorem states that any logical system capable of simulating basic arithmetic and even simpler piano arithmetic, it can either be complete or consistent, but never both. Complete means that it has the answers to every question that could arise in the domain of discourse. Consistent means that it has just one answer to every question. Well, this life also. Do you want to be complete or do you want to be consistent? Show me one person in life who can be consistent. Maybe they are consistent in their small ways of thinking, but they can never be complete. They can never have an understanding of everything. If one wants an understanding of everything, then we must sacrifice consistency. We must allow ourselves to have contradicting viewpoints. We must accept that sometimes it is not just favorable, but important that we have not just one answer to something, but we value various different sides. And Cryptic, you share, I don't know, some of your coworkers are consistently annoying. You're very funny. Thank you, Isabella, for your 30 roses. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Liz, thank you for your heart me. Radhe Radhe. Now, Raincode, you ask, could I read you all something? I would be honored to. Why don't we read from a little passage of the pocket Pema Chodran? She is a very wise woman, and I'd love to reflect on some of her readings with you. This will be our interim. Today, let us read number 40, called Embracing Our Differences. We are different. We are very different from each other. One person's idea of what is polite is someone else's idea of what is rude. In some cultures, it's considered rude to belch when you're eating, and in others, it shows that you enjoyed your meal. What might be repulsive to one person might smell wonderful to another. We are really different, and we have to acknowledge that. But instead of going to war because of our differences, let's play soccer. It will be a strange game, given our instruction to let others have the victory and keep the defeat to ourselves. But that doesn't mean that we play to lose. It means that we play to play. We could play together, even though we're on opposite teams. There are no big stakes, just playing. There are different teams, otherwise the game won't work. But it doesn't have to lead to World War III or the destruction of the planet. That's number 40, embracing our differences. So Pema is such a wonderful being, expressing such lovely observations of life. Thank you for listening. We all live a very unique experience. There's no doubt about that. Some of the things that I've experienced, others have not. And some of the things that you have experienced, I have not. And so something that might be true for you is not something that I've experienced yet. Therefore, I hope to acknowledge within you that the truth that is real to you is the truth that is real to you. Who am I to speak on behalf of your experience of it? We don't need to fight over our differences. We can participate and enjoy life because of them. Don Suela, you share that there's a lot to reflect on there. Perceiving this way can dissolve conflict and create connection. I'm so happy that you're able to see those things in her words. Indeed. I love the Buddhists because they speak so directly and indirectly at the same time. It's very vertical language in which they speak from a very universal platform. And in some sense it sounds vague, but it's also deeply actionable. And thank you, loving vegans, for your ice cream cone and your community fest. Radhe or Radhe. Anti-light, you ask what to do when your purpose/passion burns out. Oh, your purpose and passion could never burn out. Our bodies just have finite resources. There's only so many adenosine triphosphate molecules there to deliver energy to your cells. You need to make sure that you're getting enough nutrition, that you're taking care of your body, and that your mind is getting enough motivation and inspiration too. The body needs nutrition. The mind needs inspiration. We have to make sure that we are healthy both in body and mind, and naturally we'll have enough energy for our passion. But when you're feeling like your energy levels are low, then this means it's time to rest. It's time to be like Shiva and direct your energies within. And when you've had your fun exploring the depths of your consciousness in peace, then you bring that all up to the surface and express it like Shakti, taking all this energy and radiating it out. So on one hand, be like Shiva. On another hand, be like Shakti. Find the balance, and you will be like both. Thank you, James, for your heart, me too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Isabella, thank you for your trio of roses. Radhe o Radhe. Sylvia, you asked such an important question. How do you improve your communication skills? I believe that your communication skills are perfect as they are. What needs improvement is your self-acceptance. Because the more you accept that you are expressing yourself perfectly, then the more freely you will be able to speak. Because the problem isn't how you are able to express yourself. It's how you are limiting your own natural self-expression. Isn't it so? You shine brightly without any effort. But through life, we restrict that light. Why? Well, because some people found it too bright. Some people say you shouldn't talk like this, and this is how you should speak. And we've picked up on those expectations, and then we sieve ourselves through these filters. But when we have too many filters on, and we can't see anything. It's like early days of Instagram, where you could just keep applying filters and turn the effect all the way up. Oh, in 2010, 2013, you couldn't see anything. People would post a photo and you'd be like, what is that? Is that a tree? I mean, it looks vaguely like a tree, but there's so many different filters on and saturation and contrast. We went overboard applying filters, and then you were unable to express what you were trying to express. But it was still necessary, because we were exploring these aspects of life. And once we've had our fun exploring the various ways in which we filter our self-expression, then that makes unimpeded self-expression that much more valuable and meaningful to you. So just let your heart speak the way it naturally does, and your communication skills will only increase. Thank you, Annie, for your pair of roses and pair of music plays. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And thank you, the link below, for your 7 roses. Radhe Radhe. I'm happy you enjoyed the reading, Annie. And baby bunny shy. I almost called you baby shunny bye. Nah, I would never shun you or say bye to you. I love you too, and I'm happy that you find beauty in the way I express myself. Hello, Stormy Ariel. And I love that cliche on the topic of passion. Relight that fire. You should do whatever excites you most and keeps that fire burning and make it brighter every moment. Meditate like your hair is on fire. That's what they say. Now, a bored student. You asked, didn't I used to make amazing math videos? Well, if you thought they were amazing, that makes me happy to hear. I did used to make math videos indeed, but then I discovered something even more beautiful than math. And that's interpersonal connection. Instead of finding the equation that relates one number to the next, I look for the equation which relates one person to the next. Namaskaram, Lando. I am feeling well and peaceful at this moment. Thank you, Isabella, for your fire. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Annie MJ, thank you for your pair of fires. Thank you for understanding a bored student. Still miss the math though. Understandable. But the good thing about math is that it's rediscoverable. It's a universe that exists entirely within you, and thus you are free to explore it without any external motivation. Thank you for wishing me a good day, JV. Now, Annie, may you ask politely? Yes, you may. Do I have a partner? Because if I do, that person is so lucky. Well, I guess that makes all of you lucky, because I consider my heart to be too big for one person. So I've decided to give it to all of you instead. No, this doesn't mean that you fight over me or anything like that. I mean this whole world. Only by loving it equally does my heart feel full. I've discovered this in very heartbreaking ways, that I don't think there's a single person in the world that can fit all the love I have for them. But if you take the whole world, maybe then will there be enough room for my love? And so I'm looking at life in this way. And thus I consider Mother Nature herself in all of her various forms to be my beloved. Anti-light, you share. You're tired of trying to understand category theory. You'll just go meditate like Shiva instead. See, category theory is very much like Shiva and Shakti. The objects, that is Shiva. The morphisms, that is Shakti. And it is through Shiva and Shakti, through the objects and the morphisms, which the whole multiverse of mathematics becomes illumined. Shiva is the point. Shakti is the relationship between all of the points. And thank you, dear. How do I pronounce your lovely name? Mylene. Mylene. For your pair of fires. Hari Om Tat Sat. JV, thank you for your rose. Radhe Radhe. And Shakira, thank you for your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. Annie MJ, thank you for your hand hearts. Here's some hand hearts for you, my dear. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you, Sammy, for another 20 roses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hello, Kiri. Hello, Marcia. Marcia, you are wondering, what is Durga? Everyone has met Durga before. See, sometimes our mother, she's so lovey-dovey, She's so soft and tender. But then when we're not taking care of ourselves, she suddenly, as if she is riding the back of a lion, she's got a club in one hand and a sword in another. Mother, now you are a fierce warrior, commanding me into battle with my own inner demons. All right, I will go clean my room. That is Mother Durga. She is the form of the feminine, which is leading you into battle. In Hinduism, it was always the feminine which represents conflict. She was always the one seen carrying a sword or riding the back of a lion, because it is an aspect of the divine feminine to be engaged in battle, because it's part of the expression of the universe, and especially when it comes to engaging her children into battle with their own conflicts. She says, stand up and fight. Don't back down. I don't think there's a single mother in the world that will tell their children to not fight. Because she is a warrior spirit, isn't she? And this is what Durga represents, the aspect of the divine feminine, who is the fiercest form of life. As Lando shares, Durga is the spiritual mother who clears the monsters from our closets. Fierce, protective, strong. Yes. Kiri, you're wondering, how long am I going to stay live today? Well, probably for another hour. I wanted to do an earlier live stream today so that I could be with my father and my sister later. So I'm going to have to wrap it up so I can be with them. Thank you, Isabella, for your finger heart a minute ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. And baby bunny shy. Thank you for your rose. What are we going to do? We are probably going to have dinner and then go walk in a beautiful garden at night. Anti-Light, you're wondering, is Hatha Yoga necessary for proper meditation? If you follow the Ashtanga yogic system, then absolutely, the yoga of the body is going to be how you will sit still for long periods of time. The reason yogic postures were invented is a practical thing. See, everyone here who has ever tried to meditate, you know, if you sit for 5 minutes even, the body doesn't like it. Your back's fighting to stay up straight, your feet fall asleep, you're always shifting, clearing your throat. All these desires start cropping up. It's very difficult for the body to sit because the body doesn't know what to do with itself. So yoga, physical yoga called Hatha Yoga, is necessary for mental yoga, for the yoga of meditation, Dhyana Yoga. But that is just one way of meditating. If you find yourself in a meditative state in other ways that don't require the body to be still, then Hatha Yoga is not necessary. But Hatha Yoga is only going to improve your life because, well, a dynamic, flexible body is a good body, isn't it? Kiri, you share, you're jealous of the weather I have today. It's a bright blue sky today and I hear so many children playing under the sun. It's wonderful. But even on days in which it's cloudy, we must remember that the sun is still in the sky. Even if it appears to be masked by the clouds only filter that light, but it does not remove the sun. Similarly, in a sunny day of the soul, we feel happy. But even when the clouds of sadness and other emotions mask it, that doesn't mean that light of happiness, of joy is not there. It is just being filtered through various other experiences. Thank you, Marcia, for your pair of roses. Hari Om Tat Sat. Liz, you share that when you meditate, at some point your body starts vibrating. What's happening? You are probably compelling your prana into action. Prana means the vital breath, and it's directed by our physical breath. As we focus on very powerful breaths, we begin to energize the whole body. And if we do not direct this energy anywhere, then our nervous system can go into a state of panic. That is why Bhakti Yoga is important. Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of loving devotion. It means that you pick a form of the divine and give all your energy to that, and they will invest it for you and give it back to you. Like, for example, you go to a banker. You say, I'd like to give you this money. And because you spent your life studying the economy, the markets, I trust you to put it to good use. And you will be able to have a share of it as long as I get a positive ROI. Similarly, the divine is like our banker. We give our love to it, not because it needs it, but because the divine is so equipped to handle this energy, processes it for you, and then gives it back to you when you need it. So in meditation, if you feel like too much energy is building up, through bhakti, through loving devotion, we give it to the divine. Say, I don't want this vibration right now. You give it to me when I need it. You, the all-vibrating one, take this. Allow me to be in peace. You can have it for now. The divine is our storehouse of love. We put our love there when we want to invest. And we take withdrawal of that love when we're in a pickle and we need it. So Bhakti Yoga is the science of devotion. The science of giving love to a higher power. It's something very practical. I think this has been lost to time in some sense, that in modern times we see devotion as some kind of hierarchical thing that you either should or you should not, because it's prescribed to us by natural law. No, devotion is something that we do for our benefit. It's something very personal, has nothing to do with anyone else's beliefs. It's entirely an inner banking system of love, of energy. It helps us in our everyday life by depositing and withdrawing that energy into our ethereal bank account. But thank you, Nando, for your subscription. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Sanatana Dharma. Thank you for your subscription here. I'm always happy to connect with you, and you share such wonderful sentiments here that I'm very honored to host such a space full of wisdom. There's so much wisdom within you. Thank you, Fragu. Thank you, Strawberry. Isn't that right? Thank you for your finger heart. And your heart, me. Hari Om Tat Sat. And thank you, Sergeant Bong Hit, for your finger heart too. Radhe. And inevitable. Thank you for your trio of roses, dear. Hare Krishna. And Dhanishta. Thank you for your rose. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarah, you share that all you want to do is frolic in the rain. You are a good rain frolicker, Sarah. I am sure that if you give a good rain dance, then the universe will fulfill your wish. Hello, dear Priscilla. cryptic Canuck, you're wondering, what is that book I read that starts with a V? That would be the Vachanamrut. In fact, why don't we read a short passage from it now? I would love to take an interim and read from this spiritual scripture, which was gifted to me by one of you. And I'm elated in learning so many things about this particular spiritual lineage that I have been unlearned of for much of my life. So this passage is called Gadhada 171. God manifests within his Akshardham, within his abode, within his layer of reality. This is a particularly theistic sect of Hinduism. I don't think the word sect really applies to Hinduism because it all flows freely. It's just a particular form of expression that has emerged there. But let's learn more about it. Let us find the universal truths that we may experience in our life too. On the evening of Chaitra Vadhi IV, Samvat 1876, which is the 2nd of April 1820 in our Julian calendar, Shriji Maharaj was sitting on a large decorated cot, which had been placed on the platform in front of the west-facing Medi in Dada Khachar's Darbar in Gadhada. He was wearing a white case and had covered himself with a white cotton cloth. He had also tied a white feto around his head. At that time, Muktanand Swami and some sadhus were singing devotional songs to the accompaniment of musical instruments, while other sadhus, monks, as well as devotees from various places had gathered before him in an assembly. Schools is a great word, Lando. I like that, a school, spiritual school of thought. Then, Shriji Maharaj said, "Please conclude the devotional songs for now and begin a question-answer session amongst yourselves." Thereupon, Somla Khachar asked, "God forgives all of the mistakes of his devotees, but which one mistake does God not forgive?" Shriji Maharaj replied, "God forgives all other mistakes, but he does not forgive the mistake of spiting a fellow devotee. Therefore, one should never harm another devotee in any way whatsoever. This means that all of you gathered here, you should be kind to each other because we're all in this together. Furthermore, of all mistakes made against the divine, to denounce the form of the divine is a very grave mistake. This means that we fail to recognize the divine as having form. This means that this whole universe contains expressions of the divine all around us. One should never make this mistake. One who does this so commits a sin more serious than the 5 grave sins." Sin in this context does not mean a punishment. It means that we bring on a kind of suffering naturally when we don't recognize that the source of this universe is all-pervading, which means that it's there, within each tree, within each butterfly, within each stone, even within each atom of the air. Refuting the form of the divine is nothing more than understanding the divine, who eternally has form, to be formless. In fact, the divine, who is Purushottam, the highest being, forever resides within a divine form, in his Akshardham, in his divine plane of reality, which is behind everything, whose divine light is comparable to that of millions of suns and moons, countless millions of Brahmarup Muktas, of liberated beings also with divine form, serve the holy feet of that divine. That is to say, when one becomes liberated, they take on that very same divine form. They become one with that source, which is forever around us. They are one with it not because they have become it, but because they want to forever reside at the service of that divinity. That divinity, also known as Parabrahman, as the highest, ultimate reality, Purushottam, himself manifests on earth out of compassion for the liberation of the jivas, for the individual souls. When he manifests, all entities that he accepts become Brahmarup, become of a divine form in this context. Footnote tells me, just divine in general. The three bodies, in other words, Sthul, Sukshma, and Karan, which are the physical, the subtle, and the causal sheaths of existence, the three states, waking, dream, and deep sleep, the 10 indriyas, these are the 5 organs of perception and the 5 organs of locomotion. The 5 pranas, the vital energies of the body, were all apparent in avatars such as Rama, Krishna, etc. Although all of them appear to be like those of ordinary humans, in reality they are all Brahman, the ultimate reality, not Mayic, material in nature. Therefore, one should never refute the form of the divine. Wherever the divine is, we shall recognize. Matra Dhandal then asked, what is the characteristic of jealousy? Switching topics. Shriji Maharaj replied, one who is jealous of someone cannot tolerate that person benefiting in any way. They should be pleased if misery befalls that person. That is the characteristic of jealousy. Thereafter, Shriji Maharaj asked the Munis, one who has faith in the manifest divinity, has reverence for that divinity, and behaves in accordance with the niyams of satsang, the ways in which to conduct and not conduct yourself in a gathering of spiritual seekers, will attain liberation. That is the way of satsang. What, however, are the methods of liberation according to the scriptures? The meanings of the Vedas, humanity's oldest scriptures, are indeed very difficult to understand. Thus, they are not narrated in spiritual discourses. However, the Srimad Bhagavad Purana, one of the stories which elucidates various concepts in the Vedas, contain the message of the Vedas and are simpler to understand. It makes sense. The Vedas are really just a set of terse truths, but stories are one of the easiest ways to deliver truth because we resonate with the personality of them. And so, they are widely narrated in public spiritual discourses. Please then, explain how one can attain liberation as explained in the scriptures. Also bear in mind that Shankaracharya, who was this great Acharya, about 1,000 years ago, who was a proponent of Advaita Vedanta, of the non-dual interpretation of Vedanta, has propounded that the divine is formless, whereas Ramanujacharya, who was a proponent of Vashishtadvaita Vedanta, and the other Acharya being Madhvacharya, was a proponent of Dvaita Vedanta. These are three different interpretations of spiritual scriptures from thousands of years ago. Advaita Vedanta means that the ultimate reality is non-dual in nature. Dvaita Vedanta means that the ultimate reality is dual in nature. And Vashishtadvaita means the ultimate reality is non-dual in nature, but we recognize duality as also a real part of it. So whereas Ramanujacharya and other acharyas have propounded that the divine, that source, does have a real form besides being formless. Therefore, please base your answers on the principles of the scriptures. Using scriptural references, the munis, the scholars, then denounced the view that the divine is formless alone, and propounded the view that liberation is possible only by reverence of divine reverence with a form. That is to say, we require a personal form of the divine in order to connect with the source, even if that source in its original nature is beyond having a form. We have a form in this body, and thus the only way we can relate is something intermediary, such as a personification of the divine. Thereupon Shriji Maharaj commented, "I myself also accept that view, but I would like to ask you a question regarding this. Purushottam Bhagwan, the highest personal form of the divine, transcends the formless Akshar Brahman and eternally has a form. Now, if a person who has attained that divinity on this earth still cherishes a desire to see Brahmapur, Golok, Vaikunt, Shvetdvip, and the other abodes of the divine, various heavenly regions, can they be said to have faith in the divine or not?" This is a very interesting question, actually. One has faith in the divine, but they still want to achieve a heavenly state. Is this considered full faith or not? It's an interesting question. Well, the munis, the scholars, replied, "Despite having attained divinity, they who constantly feel in their mind, 'Only when I see Akshardham and the other heavenly abodes, or see the light of millions and millions of suns, is my liberation attained,' does not have absolute faith." So absolute faith here is implied to be something where you're no longer even craving or desiring a heavenly state or witnessing of the divine. You are totally content even here on earth. You feel perfect, nothing to attain. Shriji Maharaj countered by asking, "What sin have they committed in entertaining a desire to see Brahmapur and the other abodes and the form of Brahman, the ultimate reality, that you disqualify their faith?" The scholars, the munis, replied, "Why should a person who believes that liberation is attained by the mere darshan of the manifest form of the divine harbor a dislike for Brahmapur, Golok, and the other abodes? After all, they do belong to the divine. However, without the divine, they would have no desire for them." Shriji Maharaj further questioned, "Those abodes and the attendants residing in them are formed of Chaitanya, pure awareness, and transcend Maya, material existence. So what flaw is there in them that one should not desire to see them? Also, what about the divine, who is manifest on this earth? How would you view their attendants, who are also in fact mortal, and the houses they live in, which are perishable. The Munis, the scholars, replied, we understand those houses to be like Brahmapur, the abode of the divine. Wherever there is a devotee, their house is the abode of the divine. And we understand those attendants to be Brahmarup, divine themselves. Shriji Maharaj then said, Brahmapur and the attendants of the divine residing in Brahmapur are immortal and perishable, whereas the houses and attendants of this Murtyalok are perishable. How could you possibly equate the two? Finally, Nityanand Swami requested, Maharaj, you will have to answer that question. Thereupon Shriji Maharaj explained, when the divine incarnates for the purpose of granting liberation to the jivas, the individual beings, he is always accompanied by his akshardham, by his abode. He brings his abode with him. He brings the kingdom of heaven to earth. His attendants, who are formed of Chaitanya, of pure awareness, and all of his divine powers, but they are not perceived by others. Nevertheless, when some devotee acquires a divine vision during samadhi, during a state of meditation in which the object which you are meditating on becomes one with you, the meditator, they do see divine light equivalent to countless millions of suns in the form of the divine. Together with that form, they also see countless millions of muktas, liberated beings, and also Akshardham, the divine abode itself. Therefore, all of these do accompany the divine. Despite all of this, though, the divine only accepts the service of his own earthly devotees. He stays in his devotees' houses, made of mud, clay, and stone. He lovingly accepts whatever those devotees offer him, be it incense, an oil lamp, food, clothes, or anything else. He does so for the purpose of elevating those earthly attendants to the ranks of divine attendants. All of those objects that a devotee offers to the divine assume a divine form in the abode. Moreover, that devotee also attains a divine form and attains those divine objects there. In this way, the divine accepts all of the offerings offered by his earthly devotees in order to allow them to experience everlasting bliss. Therefore, a devotee of the divine should realize that the form of the divine, along with his divine abode, Akshardham, is present on this earth, and they should also explain this fact to others. That was a longer one today, but thank you for listening. That was the end of Gadhada 171. So thank you for exploring this sampradaya with me, this spiritual lineage. A lovely reminder that this divinity is omnipresent, not just some abstract concept beyond the universe, but here it is immanent. There is a very real divinity present. You don't have to leave this earth to find it. It's all available here. So thank you for listening. Now, we may return to whatever we want to talk about. Sometimes the verses are really short, the other times they are long, but I tried to read the whole thing. But I thank you, my dear viewers, who sent a gift while we were reading. My manjira in the sun have become so hot, it's almost difficult to hold them. But thank you, Tibishore, for your heart me. Hariom Tat Sat. And Sammy, thank you for your 20 roses. Nice to see you. Hare Krishna. Chimney Sweeper, thank you for your rose. And Priscilla, my dear friend, thank you for your ice cream cone. Your rose, TikTok, cloud bread, another cloud bread too. Obrigado. Jai Mahakali. And thank you, Pookie, for your heart me too. Radhe or Radhe. Hello, Bibort. Dansuela, you share that you learned that sin gives the opportunity to recognize the divinity in us all. I agree. I personally try not to use the word sin because it has been used to marginalize people or to oppress. But there is a practical understanding of this word that's beyond all this dogma, and it's just that. When we act in a way that is not with acknowledgement towards the divine, then we naturally suffer. Not because of a punishment per se, but because it is how life operates. To do so in acknowledgement of that source in which it has all become manifest from. Without this acknowledgement, then we feel like life is devoid of meaning, and we feel like we are able to overpower it because nobody owns it, because it's a big resource game to fight over. But if we recognize that everything is possessed eternally by that divine source, then why should we fight and quarrel over it? What is there a reason for to get angry, to be impatient when it's all a divine expression? Naturally, our life very much improves just by honoring that divinity within others, within ourselves. See what it means to be the source of everything. It means that within you, I see the whole universe unfolding. I see the same thing in my lovely kitties. I see the same thing in a tree. I see it in the soil. I see it in the moon. We should strive to see that divinity everywhere we go, and our life will be full of joy. Thank you, dear John, for your rosa that you sent a few minutes ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Usha, thank you for your trio of cheer me ups. Jai Vishwa Guruji. And Annie MJ, thank you for your pair of roses. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. Thank you, Bibort, for your heart me. Your name is so nice to pronounce. Bibort, Bibort, Bibort. Lending, thank you for your 5 tiny dinies too. Yippee! And Pivotal Intent, thank you for your rose. Hari Om Tat Sat. I'm so happy that you find pleasantry and relaxation in this space, Pivotal Intent. That makes me happy to know. Dansuela, you share that you had such an aversion to the concept of sin growing up. This has challenged that in a wonderful way. You feel much lighter knowing that. It's so affirming and helpful to your inner child to know this. I'm so happy to hear that. For thousands of years, we have known that happiness and misery both are experiences that happen within us. Therefore, we are responsible for our happiness and misery. But happiness is definitely divine. And I love that observation, Baby Bunny Shy. Everything is beautiful and divine if we see it with the correct eyes of love and kindness. That's wonderful. And EMJ, you love kitties too. And you have quite a few. And you love them so much. And I love that you love them. Just for giggles, you are Mr. Mikaha. Oh my goodness. You changed your name? That's wonderful. What a pivotal intent indeed. What a pivot in your intention. And I very much look forward to having you here as well, Bijao. Thank you, pivotal intent, for your pair of roses. And for wishing me an enjoyable evening. All the same for you all. NEMJ, you share, you love all animals, but your cats are your fur babies. Indeed. Something about the cat just brings out your maternal instincts, because they're just baby. They're just baby. They're a baby that never grows up. Even in their final moments, they are just baby. Biju, it's Bishu. Thank you. Bishu. Kathy, you share that your cat is lying beside you. Oh, good. I have some words for your cat. They'll understand. They'll know what's up. And Dalita, you share your hamster is still asleep. It's so early. Dalita, you have the most majestic looking hamster I've ever seen. Such a beautiful being. Now JV, you had asked, how should a beginner person meditate to build up to longer times? Meditation is something that happens to you. I wouldn't recommend meditation to a beginner. When you slip into divine ecstasy, that is your meditation. And it will happen naturally. When you go about the way of the divine, they will impose the times for you to meditate, because you will be walking, and then you will slip into a state of ecstasy. And that is your meditation. You will stay there for some time until the divine brings you out of it. Just like a parent dictating when and where their child should sleep. Sometimes their child is ready for it, sometimes not. But the child sleeps for as long as they need to, until the parent knows when it's time to get up. Likewise, the divine parentage, it puts us to sleep into states of meditation when it wants, and it wakes us up for them. How do you slip into that state? You slip into that state by Bhakti Yoga, by increasing your loving devotion towards everything and everyone. And then when you catch that glimpse of that divinity in a very direct way, then naturally you just fall in love and you stay there for some time. Instead of trying to dictate when you meditate, just prepare yourself for it. Ready yourself, open yourself up. Say that I allow for this state to happen. Oh divinity, oh Mother Goddess, oh Father God, may you guide me into states of trance. I am open for this experience. Whenever, wherever, it is by your command. Until then, I will go about serving everyone and everything as a way of loving you, by taking care of my family, my mother, my father, my uncle, my aunt, my brother, my sister, my son, my daughter, anyone between and beyond that did not fall into those labels. I will go about loving all of this universe as a means of loving you. And naturally, you will become meditative. The dogs, the cats. Yes, Anna. Thank you, JP, for your finger heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Happy Canada Day, Dean Dude. And Annie, you share that your cat, Mika, just perked up when I did that. Did you know that the letter M, it looks the way it does because it represents cat ears? It's M for meow. See, we can trace the letter M from the Latin alphabet to Greek and to various glyphs that appear in the Mediterranean, from linear A, linear B, linear A, and eventually to certain glyphs that appear from the Bronze Age. And some have even traced it all the way back to the Indus Valley civilization, where it was the form of a fish. And still today in India, most words for fish start with the letter M. And the Brahmi letter for M is still a fish today. But by the time it reached the Mediterranean in the writing language there in the turn of the Bronze Age, it became the image of a cat. Thus they literally used the cat face for their sound M. It was quite literally M for meow, and then that survived as cat ears today. So any time which we see the word meow, you're looking at the top of a cat. And thank you, Betty Elf, for your rose. Hari Om Tat Sat. Lisa Jo, you share that you're feeling very grateful and thankful today. Me too. What makes us feel this more days than others? So weird. Well, sometimes it is difficult to recognize that this is an experience that we should be grateful for. As we age, we have more faith in this. Because when we're going through a difficult moment in childhood, how could we possibly know that this is for our growth? But as we get older, we learn how many ways in which we have grown from our experiences, both positive and negative. Thus, the more we practice recalling the ways in which we've grown, the easier it is to have faith that this is a moment to be grateful for, even if it's not one that feels particularly pleasant. Because in both pleasantry and pain, we grow. If you want a physical example of that, just go to the gym. You will experience pain, but your muscles will be growing because of it. So bodybuilders, they are grateful for the experience of pain, because that means that they are striving for higher and higher ability. But the same is true, even if you're not a bodybuilder. When you are put in a challenging situation, when you are experiencing difficult things, difficult emotions, you are also growing. It's the same sensation when your muscles are growing, but just on the level of your mind and emotional body. that you are expanding in your ability to experience life. And thank you, Van Penguin, for your cloud bread. And another cloud bread. Hari Om Tat Sat. And your ice cream cone. And another cloud bread. Hare Krishna. And Lily Check, thank you for your heart me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you, Lily Check, for your heart me as well. Your hand hearts. Here's some hand hearts for you as well, dear. Radhe O Radhe. Hello, Odd HD teacher. Thank you for sharing love and respect. Joy in discovery. I like that. Hello, Eriku. So I must inform you all that I'll have to begin wrapping things up rather shortly, even though we've only been here for an hour, 50 minutes so far. I had agreed to go out and do something this evening with my father, my sister. So we're going to spend some time together, family bonding. It's yam time, says Eriku. It's no longer yam time. Don't worry, there's still some things that I'd like to do with you all. Like play with a question of the day, as well as short reading, and then a meditation for tonight. It's coffee time. Yes, thank you, Van Penguin, for your ginger man and a whipped coffee. I could dip the ginger man in the whipped coffee. That'd be good. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, yeah, here's my question of the day. How long have I had that up? Did I just open it now? I'm not sure. But my question of the day for you all is, how can we give back to Mother Earth? Thank you, Velo Infinity. We have taken such a loan out of Mother Earth. We are so indebted to her. How can we give back? And thank you, Lisa Joe, for your rose. Om Namah Shivaya. Lily Check, you share by planting trees. I like that. It's a simple thing to do, and it's also an easy thing to do, because she provides us the trees. She makes them for us. All we have to do is distribute them. Christina, you share, we give it with our energy, grounding ourselves to her. I love the way in which you use that verb, to ground, as if it's an offering, something that we surrender ourselves for. That's beautiful. And Nancy, you share, by stop injuring her. Give her back her waterways. That's very important. NEMJ, you share, planting flowers and water and seeds. I love that. Lily Check, you share, plant flowers for pollinators. I love that. Yes. Velo Infinity, you share that you admire her beauty. You stop and smell the roses. That's how you give back. That's wonderful. Develop a kind of relationship with her in this way. Now, Priscilla, you have some Portuguese, which I am unable to read. Oh, you will have to translate this for me. Waterways are her bloodlines. I love that connection, Nancy. Earthrai, you share, listening to her, considering her always. That's beautiful. And thank you, Van Penguin, for another ice cream cone and cloud bread. Hari Om Tat Sat. Now, Guayasamine, you share that there in Ecuador, you all teach English so people can understand what I say. Aw, that's so sweet. Well, hello, all my lovely people from Ecuador. Lisa Joe, you share that you all live in the woods, you take care of them grow, flowers to keep the bees happy, you try. That's so good. I'm happy to hear that. Nancy, you say it so directly. Stop poisoning her earth. Dansuela, you share by recognizing the divinity in her and spending time in the forest, praying to her and for her. I love that. I have to press the button to translate, shares Priscilla. I'm not sure if I can do that from desktop. Yes, unfortunately. On the app I can, but on my streaming setup on my laptop it doesn't allow me to. Chimney Sweeper, you share we work for her by tiling and sowing and water the seed to reap the riches of her bounty. Tilling and sowing and water the seed to reap the riches of her bounty. That's so poetic. That's beautiful. Van Penguin, you share, what about spreading the ice cream on bread? You've made an ice cream sandwich for me. Thank you. For another ice cream cone and cloud bread for me to make an ice cream sandwich, since I screwed it up. Thank you. Community garden, shares Jan. I love that. So simple. I think I have one near me, actually, come to think of it. Greater Canadian, you share through kindness and gratefulness. I love that. And Digna E, you share picking trash. And don't buy a lot of things that in the end of the day end up in our ocean. That's very true. Yeah. Orla, you share, we start with our own communal practices so we can put all earth killing corpse out of business and force change. Killing corporation. Earth killing corporations out of business and force change. That's a very practical step. Start with our own community. I like that. Priscilla, you share, put the plant who dies back in the plants. This sounds like a Zen koan. Put the plant who dies back in the plants. How can I interpret this? Those plants who die, let us replant them. That have been killed by various means of industrialism and metropolitanism. Let us replant those which we have taken away from life. So thank you everyone for exploring this question of the day with me. I'm very happy to hear such wonderful, practical ways too at giving back to Mother Earth. Now my voice has gone for a short vacation. 1 second. Oh, this water bottle. It burns to pick it up. La-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum. There we are. And thank you, Chimney Sweeper, for your half dozen roses. Radhe, Radhe. And Van Penguin, thank you for your snowboard and popcorn. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Sammy, for your 25 roses. And Imi Baba Studio, thank you for your pair. Got a hiccup. Imi Baba, you share that you feel that you are in me and I am in there and there is you and me? Yes. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Imi Baba Studio, for your trio of roses also. Goodbye, Rob Price. Have a wonderful trip at the temple today. And thank you, Annie MJ, for your ice cream cone. Hari Om Tat Sat. So I'd like to read from a short passage of our book, In Love at Ease, and then we'll do a meditation just after our reading. Okay. So Pramukh Swami is a being that I've been learning from. He was seemingly in love, at ease all the time. We are now in the 4th chapter on embracing all. This section we're talking about how he embraced many underrepresented, underprivileged, or underacknowledged people of humanity, especially the feminine voices which often go unheard in our society. It goes to show that there is a way in which, despite our patriarchal world, we can strive for a more feminine-friendly spirituality, even in terms of big organizations, as he was once the president and guru of. Let's see where we stopped reading. Swamishri took on the responsibility of guiding and raising countless young men and women. Tens of thousands of women wrote to Swamishri with their problems, seeking spiritual and personal guidance. Their letters were answered promptly and with pragmatic advice. Despite having to communicate with the women through written word and intermediaries, Swamishri was able to relate to them in a way that was not condescending or distant, but rather spiritually intimate and inviting. I believe I read this last time, so I must be starting on the wrong page here. Many times these letters became a vital medium through which Bhai Bhaktas, feminine devotees, were followed over the course of their education, marriage, their children's marriages, and even after their spouses had passed away. People may have traveled through nearly the entire cycle of their lives, and the only constant in their life was their guru's silhouette walking with them. Smita Bain Patel lives in Edison, New Jersey, but her journey began in Mombasa, Kenya. It had been a rocky one for as long as she could remember. At the age of 4, Smita Bain lost her father. Though she had the support of her mother, younger brother, and extended family, she would feel lonely, as if she had been deprived of the social relationship between a father and a daughter. She noticed how her friends relished their relationships with their fathers. She often asked herself, how will I experience that relationship? Will I ever experience fatherly love? Swamishri considered her feelings and understood the role he needed to play. Every time her brother or maternal uncle approached Swamishri, he would say, "This boy and his sister are my children. I am going to raise them. They are my responsibility." As the years passed, Smita Bain realized that Swamishri did not take his fatherly duties lightly. He was a part of her decision to move to India for pharmacy school and finish her first job. Swamishri initiated her brother into the sadhu, the monk fold, in 1981, and he again reminded her uncle and brother, "Do not worry about your sister and niece. She is my daughter. I will be there for her until the end." A few months later, Swamishri noticed U.K. Patel in line for his darshan in Bochasan. He pulled him to the side and said, "I have a proposal in mind for your son's wedding. Are you looking?" U.K. Patel asked, "Who is the girl? Who is her father?" Swamishri's face lit up. "She is my daughter, and that is and that is introduction enough. Speak to your son, Girish, and we will work out the details when I come to Ahmedabad." Girish Bhai was thrilled that Swamishri had suggested a young lady for his match, and especially someone the Guru had introduced as his daughter. Swamishri arranged for the engagement ceremony in Bochasan. When the priest officiating the ceremony asked Swamishri whose name to use as the father of the bride, Swamishri spoke up before anyone else. "Use my name. I am the father." Smitaben's entire family watched with tears in their eyes. The Guru shared a special spiritual bond with his daughter. Swamishri instructed a few senior sadhus to look after the young girl's wedding ceremony. A few days before the wedding, Swamishri suffered a major heart attack. He was resting in Vadodara and had instructed U.K. Patel to report back to him after the wedding ceremony was complete. As soon as U.K. Patel arrived, Swamishri tried to sit up in his bed and folded his hands. "I apologize if anything has been left out on our part. I am the daughter's father, and I have been ill. Though I tried to arrange for the festivities through senior bhaktas, devotees, I hope you will forgive me if something was lacking." It was a traditional Indian custom for the father of the bride to ask the groom's party if everything was to their liking and apologize if there were lapses in hospitality. Seeing his guru apologize with folded hands while still recovering from a major heart attack, U.K. Patel was again reminded of Swamishri's commitments to his daughter. As Smitaben progressed through her life, Swamishri continued to be a part of it, like when she moved to New Jersey, as she had children, and as her children grew up. I too have witnessed Swamishri speak of Smitaben's daughter as his own when suggesting a potential suitor more than 30 years after he had done so for her mother. Though Swamishri never spoke to Smitaben, his commitment to his daughter was as firm as that of any loving father. The letters between the Bai Bhaktas and Swamishri through his intermediaries became the difference between life and death for so many young ladies. A young woman in the tribal village in southern Gujarat had written a letter to Swamishri about her abusive husband. Swamishri contacted the local sadhus, the local monks, and asked them to go to the village and intervene. If the husband was unwilling to change or seek help, he instructed them to ask bhaktas, devotees in Surat, to make arrangements for this young lady and her children. A similar story in New York unfolded in front of the community. Usha Bain was a tad warmer than most of the 7-line subway train, headed to Manhattan from Flushing, Queens. Her feet were cramping, and her head was pounding. She was 7 months pregnant with her first child, and her husband had just left her. The physical difficulties of the pregnancy in an unfamiliar town with the glaring, stigma-filled eyes of the community were all too much to bear. She looked out of the train window and saw people passing below the bridge under the morning summer sun. It dawned on her that this is what Pramukh Swami Maharaj was telling her not to do. The 30-year-old expecting mother had not been a bhakta, a devotee. In fact, when her mother had asked her to read the Vachanamrut and other Swami Narayan texts as a child, she would laugh and find excuses to get away. In this moment, though, she decided to come to the mandir, the temple on Bain Street, for Swamishri's darshan, viewing presents. After her first darshan at the mandir, Usha Bain wrote a note to Swamishri. The note was a tune of her frustration and difficulties. She wrote it in haste and did not even have an envelope. She handed it to one of the senior bhaktas standing by the door of the mandir. She had heard in the announcements that Swamishri was leaving America for the next day. She hoped that her note would make it to Swamishri, but she could not be sure. A day after Swamishri departed, Usha Bain got a call from the senior devotee, who said he had a response from Swamishri drafted by one of the bhaktas in his service. Usha Bain was overjoyed. With Swamishri's advice in her hands, she read the note over and over. There were strong words of encouragement, reconciliation, warmth, and support, but there was one paragraph in the letter that she did not fully understand. The paragraph read, "Do not take any steps that are against the instructions laid out by Bhagwan Swaminarayan in the Shikshapatri. Stay strong. God and Guru are with you. Everything will work out over time. Do not lose hope. You are not alone." Usha Bain had never read the Shikshapatri, the canonical Dharma Shastra, the code of conduct text set forth by Bhagwan Swaminarayan for bhaktas, devotees in the Swaminarayan community. She went to the mandir the next day and picked up a copy. She read all 212 verses, but still did not understand why Swamishri had referred to it in the letter. Returning to that moment in the train, looking over that bridge on her way to Manhattan, she suddenly realized why Swamishri conveyed that message. It was over that bridge, on prior commutes, that she had previously contemplated ending her life to avoid the torture of pain, abuse, and abandonment. Swamishri was telling her to not give up hope and not to end her life. Usha Bain was startled. She had not mentioned these thoughts of suicide explicitly in her letter, or to anyone for that matter, but Swamishri had read between the lines of her letter of distress. He had felt and experienced her pain. He could hear it and had sensed that this young woman must have been in such a state of despair to have contemplated ending her life. From that day onwards, Usha Bain lived with a ray of hope. Over the next 19 years, she must have written Swamishri almost 24 letters, and each one reaffirmed one fact. She was not alone with her child. Swamishri was walking with her every step of the way. Swamishri's letters saved lives and carried them forward. All right, I'm going to pause our reading of In Love at Ease there for now. So, thank you for listening. Unfortunately, we have to wrap things up rather quickly. So I'm gonna rush through the meditation a little bit. Well, the meditation won't be rushed, but the surrounding time. But thank you, Annie MJ, for your ice cream cone and your music play. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Gina, thank you for your pair of roses. Hari Om Tat Sat. But more importantly than me rushing, Kaylin the Fox, you share that you're struggling. Your partner isn't consistent with following through on commitments and duties. Thoughts? Well, just as commitment is important for you, it's also important for her. Maybe ask her, what is she dealing with right now that you can help her with, so that you can understand why you have to pick up some of the things that she has been putting down. There's always a reason for these things, and in any way you can help her with what struggles she is going through. Or, I assumed the gender. I realized you didn't tell me. Your partner could use any pronoun. Regardless of the gender, no matter who your partner is, they deserve to have their needs met too. And if they're struggling with something emotionally, then that is something that you should be committed to helping as well. And if you have boundaries that need to be set, ensure that you set them. Relationships are not about giving and taking. They're all about giving. And how you can help them give to you, give to the world, wherever. They have a lot of sacrifice and meeting halfway, wherever they are able to meet you at. That kind of love will go a long way. But most importantly, If they are unable to do certain things, it is probably because they are struggling in another way. And whatever the way they are struggling, please help them with that, and I am sure that they will carry the deed forward as well. And thank you, Rob, for your rose. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Tin Man, thank you for your octet of roses. Hare Krishna. So before we end this live and I go and hang out with my father, my sister, I would like to do a short meditation with you all. Just a 5-minute one. Today we are doing a certain mantra, and I'm just going to set it up quickly. Going to minimize the background music so we can listen to the music that we'll be chanting with. So today we are doing a variation on the Om Namah Shivaya mantra, which means salutations to the auspicious one. Today we're including his feminine counterpart, Shakti. We're doing Om Namah Shakti Shivaya, which means salutations to the powerful and the auspicious one. Shiva might be the auspicious one, but Shakti is the powerful one. And just as a little surprise, I would like to share the first draft of a script that I'm working on to represent Sanskrit in a way that respects all of its beautiful structure. So currently I'm making a font, and this is the current version that says Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. Because Sanskrit has been a beautiful language in which the sounds have such an intimate relationship with each other. And whatever script was originally used to represent this, it no longer is. And so I'd like to make a script that brings out these sacred features. And so just for fun, here is the current version of my script for this mantra. And it's supposed to be a script that teaches you how to pronounce it. The vertical lines are all of the breaks called consonants. And the line at the top that arches over, that's the voice, that's the vowels. And so it tells you when the voice is connected to the consonant, or how the voice moves and how the consonants break. Naturally, of course, you're going to have to study it a little bit like any script, but this one should be self-realizable in ways that's easier than any other script. Anyway, that's just a fun thing I'd like to share. But more importantly, let us have a little 4-minute actually meditation on the Shiva Shakti Kundalini mantra for instant boost in power and confidence. Results in 5 minutes. Namaskar.
Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. 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 Shakti Shiva. Om Namah 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 Shakti Shiva.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for listening or chanting with us. That was a nice little 4-minute mantra to end our session for today. Thank you. Thus, without further ado, I shall be bringing this live stream to a close. However, I'm very happy to have had this time at all, and I would very much like to have this opportunity to be with you tomorrow. You ask a good question, you're a Christian? Are you supposed to be listening to this? Well, that is of course up to you. I never want you to do anything that you feel like you are uncomfortable with. But Shiva and Shakti, though they are personalities that exist in a different religion than you, I believe that there is an overlap within religion, and Shiva and Shakti don't have to represent anything outside of your tradition. They can just mean the auspicious divine within yourself, as well as the auspicious divinity in how you express yourself, like creator and creation, Holy Father and Mother Nature. That is what Shiva and Shakti represents. Thank you, Rishi, for your finger heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. And thank you, Valentina, for your finger heart too. Radhe Radhe. And thank you, Sarah. I hope to eat many sweet peaches and cherries too. That reminds me, I should climb the ladder behind you all and get some of the cherries that are still on the tree that all the raccoons and the bunnies and the birds have left for me. Although I'm sure by the looks of it, they've eaten almost all of them. My goodness. Maybe there's a couple there, but I'm happy they're eating. They deserve it. Thank you, Valentina, again. I'm so grateful to have had this chance to be here with you all. If ever any part of this speaks to you and you want to listen to it again, I upload all the recordings to my YouTube channel, Yamsox Live, so you're welcome to check them out there. That's linked in the link tree in my bio. May this live stream be an offering to another form of the Divine Masculine and Feminine, my Ishta Devata, Krishna and Radha, that I see within all of you. Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Shyam Shyam, Radhe Radhe. So, may you all have a wonderful moment here. May you all have a beautiful rest of this nowness that we experience together. I love you, Sarah. But you do share a lot of things with me too. A lot of love, that is. I'm going to go with my father and sister and maybe eat some cherries. So, peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum. Hail Mary, hallelujah, Satnam. Namo Buddhaya.